A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ramadan with Zidane. Today is the 10th of Ramadan. Hope your Ramadan is going healthy, wealthy and wise, and everyone is having a great time reaping the rahmas and barakahs of this beautiful month and understanding the Qur'an and the message of the book that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent in this blessed month. Again, as the first Ashra is drawing to a close, I hope everyone has had a great time. Again, taking the rahmas and barakahs of this month, praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fasting steadfastly, and again being God conscious, fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and keeping ourselves away from the ill will. We are going to be continuing Surah Al-A'raf, and inshallah today is the day we are going to be completing this surah. We have 16 verses remaining from 190 towards 206. It is the 7th surah of the Quran, 206 verses, 39 in sequence and 24 rukus. As we know, in this surah we have discussed about Taskin bi Ayyamillah, again the stories of the prophets and how they came to the people and they were belied and how the people were destroyed. And after that, in the second section of the surah, we have discussed about Bani Israel and how it can be a lesson for the Quraysh and also for the Ummah of this time too. So without further ado, let's start the surah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ayushrikuna ma la yakhluqu shay'an wa hum yukhlaqun. Do they attribute partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who have created nothings and they are themselves created? Now you can see the irony. They say to at that time Lat, Uzza, Baal, that they have created this, but they are themselves created and they do not move, they do not have any signs. وَلَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ لَهُمْ نَصْرٌ وَلَا أَنفُسَهُمْ يَنْصُرُونَ. And it is very far that they are going to help themselves. They are going to help the disbelievers. They can't even help themselves. وَإِن تَدْعُوهُمْ إِلَى الْهُدَى لَا يَتَّبِعُوكُمْ. And if you guide them towards the guidance, they will not follow you. سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْكُمْ أَدَعَوْتُمُوهُمْ أَمْ أَنْتُمْ صَامِتُونَ. It is the same for you whether you do not call to them or you call to them and you stay silent. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ عِبَادٌ أَمْثَالُكُمْ. Indeed, those people who you call besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are slaves like you. Those saints that you call, they were slaves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just like you. فَدْعُوهُمْ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. So call upon them and let them answer if you are truthful. أَلَهُمْ أَرْجُلٌ يَمْشُونَ بِهَا. Do they have feet with which they walk? Allahum aidi yabtishuna biha. Do they have hands by which they do any act? Amlahum aynu yabsiruna biha. Do they have eyes by which they see? Amlahum azanu yasmauna biha. Do they have ears what they hear? Qulidu shurakakum sumakiduni fala tunzirun. Say that call your partners and then you see what happens. Inna waliyallahu allazi nazala al-kitaba huwa yatawalla as-salihin. And indeed say that, oh people, my protector is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he has sent the book. And he is going to be the one who is going to help those who are the believers. وَالَّذِينَ تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ لَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ نَصْرًا وَلَا أَنفُسَهُمْ يَنْصُرُونَ. And whoever you ask from before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ نَصْرَكُمْ. They cannot come to your avail, وَلَا أَنفُسَهُمْ يَنْصُرُونَ. And they cannot help themselves. وَإِن تَدْعُوهُمْ إِلَى الْهُدَى لَا يَسْمَعُونَ. And if you call them towards the good, they are not going to listen. وَتَرَاهُمْ يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَيْكَ وَهُمْ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. And you will look toward them, but they will not look at you because they are non-living. خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. So show forgiveness. They can be a clean slate for you. Enjoin upon what is good and turn away from the foolish. وَإِمَّا يَنْزَغَنَّكَ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ نَزْغٌ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ. And even an evil whisper comes to you from the shaitan, say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Fasta'iz billah. Ask protection from Allah. Innahu huwas samiul alim. Indeed, He is the all-hearer and the all-seer. Inna allazina taqaw. Indeed, those people who are the pious, the muttaqis, amassahum ta'ifun min ash-shaytan. Whenever something comes to them from shaitan, tazakkaru fa'izahum mubsirun. They remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and then they are able to see again. Their soul is able to see again. Wa ikwanuhum yamuddunahum fil ghayyi thumma la yuksirun. But those people who do not listen, their brothers, their counterparts, the devils plunge them deeper into the astrayness, into the place where they cannot be guided. وَإِسْلَمْ تَأْتِيمْ بِآيَةٍ. And whenever the miracle did not come to the Quraysh, قَالُوا لَوْ لَجْتَبَيْتَ. They would say, why haven't you not brought it? قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَتَّبِعُ مَا يُوحَى إِلَيَّ مِنْ رَبِّي. Say, indeed, I believe whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent upon me. هَذَا بَصَائِرُ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ وَهُدًى وَرَحْمَةً لِقَوْمٍ يُؤْمِنُونَ. Indeed, this itself is the guidance. The Quran itself is a miracle. وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. And whenever the Quran is listened, be silent and listen to it and ponder it. وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ فِي نَفْسِكَ تَضَرُّعًا وَخُفْيَةً وَخِيفَةً. And indeed, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your tongue and also in your mind. And at what times? وَدُونَ الْجَهْرِ مِنَ الْقَوْلِ. And indeed, with the loudness in the mornings, بِالْغُدُوِّ وَالْآصَالِ وَلَا تَكُنْ مِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ. And in the afternoons and in the nights, be quiet. Now this again tells about the qiraat in the surahs, that in some prayers, like how Fajr and Maghrib, they can be said loud, and meanwhile Asr, the Asr prayer and Zuhr prayer, they do not have that level of loudness. Why? Because it is like a symbolism. In the day, when the day starts or when the day is ending, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's voice is meant to be glorified across the whole way. It's a signaling of the start of the day. And meanwhile in the day, it's a more noisiness, so the quietness, it befits the tone. Such are the miracles of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now the last verse, and this is the ayatul sajda. Inna allazina inda rabbika la yastakbiruna al ibadatihi wa yusabbihunahu wa lahu yasjudun. And indeed those angels who are with you, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they prostrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they exalt him and they never get tired. So do not think that your exaltation is a very big, favor upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need it. Inna Allah ghaniyun hamid. He only wants that you people save yourselves. It is for your own betterment. So with that, this surah, this is the third longest surah in the Quran. It comes to a close. And inshallah tomorrow we are going to be covering Surah Al-A'raf. So today it was a very brief lesson, but it is a very short and sweet lesson. The last 16 verses of Surah Al-A'raf, they have given us a very important message. That remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is key for us in success in this world and in the hereafter. So we should remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whenever any bad thing comes to us, whenever any shaitan gives us a waswasa, any kind of evil whisper, we have to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to do the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not only by our tongues, in our minds too, so that we can be, our soul can be taken out of the temporary blindness and we are going to be able to see again. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from the whispers of the shaitan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from the evil eye. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to attain success, not only in this world, but also in the hereafter. Barakallahu lana wa lakum fil Qur'an al-azim wa nafa'nahu wa iyyakum bil ayati wa zikril hakim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.